So we have another institutional asset that we need to keep our eyes on. I'm talking about Avalanche. One of the largest engineering consortiums in India has chosen Avalanche for its blockchain certificates. What this means is that now students who come through that program will receive their validations, their accreditations in the form of a blockchain certificate, which means, yeah, it's permanent. There's no changing that. There's no forgeries. There's no tampering with that at all. So, we're going to break down what that actually means because that's one of blockchain's most basic use cases. It's the registering of information. It's verifying that A owns B and B owns C, simply put. But when it comes to which assets are providing these sorts of programs and applications for enterprises, institutions, the list is very few. All right, the list is very few. But let's dive into this. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the IEEE, has partnered with Avalanche Blockchain to issue immutable certificates for educational milestones in India. Utilizing blockchain technology, it ensures the certificates are tamper-proof and reflects the adoption of blockchain for securing and verifying academic or professional milestones. Again, this goes back to the most basic functions of blockchain technology. However, this most basic function, actually has the potential to bring immense amounts of value because the digitization of identification, trade documents, things like that is going to save people a lot of money, which will allow them to make more money. That's where the power is. That's where the value lies. According to a December 6th report, India holds the second largest membership base for the IEEE outside of the United States with over 75,000 members. So that is the member base here. And another thing to consider is the fact that they're focused on India right now, but this is a global engineering consortium. So at some point, we could start seeing these certificates pop up in the United States and other places where these engineers are getting their education from, right? So again, it's not a change the world overnight type thing, but it's definitely an application that now that Avalanche has up off the ground, it can sustain value in the long term. And it'll also lend to the recognition of Avalanche as a brand as a whole. And that's going to play a very major role going forward in this next bull cycle. Deveka Mittal, the head of Avalanche's India arm, he underscores Avalanche's EVM compatibility as a facilitator for deploying widely used applications such as credential registries and identity management. She also highlighted the preference of esteemed institutions like SK Planet and JP Morgan Onyx for Avalanche, emphasizing the importance of selecting a blockchain solution based on its ability to ensure immutability, longevity, and security. So you guys know I had to look into what these other two platforms were. First off, the SK Planet, that is a Web3 platform based out of South Korea, but what they are in essence is a Web3 marketplace which connects you to other Web3 assets, Web3 platforms, websites, things like that, games, metaverses, so forth and so on. So that's pretty big. And I know that Avalanche, from a technical perspective, their blockchain is built to handle all types of applications, all types of institutional applications. And that's thanks to that three-tiered system. Avalanche has an A, a B, and a C chain. And we'll find out here that they decided to use the C chain. But it would require a whole nother episode to really go into the three layers. But one registers the transactions, one registers applications, and one supports 1 and 2, right? The third layer supports 1 and 2. Easiest way I can explain it to you. And then with JP Morgan, they're actually running a wealth management platform through Avalanche. So that was very interesting to actually find out. So they got some big name players in their ecosystem. That is why I said Avalanche is an asset you need to watch out for if you're looking for the coins that are bringing in the institutions to crypto. But let's wrap this up here because they go into these blockchain certificates will be managed through LegitDoc, a credential lifecycle management system developed by Zoppo Labs and deployed on Avalanche's C chain. Neil Martis, co-founder of Zupple, also emphasized the growing willingness of the Indian public sector to implement comprehensive blockchain projects. The choice of Avalanche's C chain as the primary settlement layer is attributed to its compatibility with the Ethereum virtual machine. So that's another point there too. The compatibility with Ethereum, a much larger network, also gives them the advantage because the mainstream institutions, they recognize that Ethereum is the key processor. It's the main operating system, but it's often more expensive to use. And then, of course, the gas fees. That's where the layer twos come into play. And Avalanche has that ability to connect with Ethereum, much like Immutable, Celo will in a minute, Hedera. There's even talks of Stellar Lumens being able to do it soon, Bitcoin. So it's going to be very interesting. This utility run is going to be very interesting. But I want to share this last piece with you guys so that way you understand what this ultimately means. Now, unlike traditional paper certificates, which are susceptible to fraud and can be cumbersome to verify, blockchain allows educational institutions to issue digital certificates that are tamper-proof and easily verifiable. This mitigates risk associated with credential fraud. So if you go to school for 6 to 12 months, maybe 24, and you get your diploma, but then all of a sudden somebody takes it off your wall and then goes and gets a job with your name, Yeah. That type of thing is going to be avoided thanks to blockchain technology. Blockchain ensures that certificates are securely stored on a decentralized ledger, creating a transparent and immutable record of individuals' academic and professional achievements. Furthermore, using blockchain for certificates opens up possibilities for a decentralized and interoperable education system. It facilitates the seamless transfer of credentials across institutions and international borders. So could you imagine one day in the future, your child coming up to you and asking, hey, I want to go to a university out in China. Now, mind you, you live in the Midwestern United States. Okay, you so far from China, it literally makes no sense. But, you know, they come up to you and they I want to do this. And it's 2032, right? And all they have to do now, you know, you'll still have to pay tuition. Lord knows what the fees might be. But all they would have to do now is sign up to an online portal that university has. And they could take the same classes, the same curriculum, get the same type of, you know, with the exception of that one-to-one personal connection, unless you got it to where you can send them over there, but they can start their education at a foreign university and the credentials will still be the same. So we're looking at a future where universities around the world can be connected, right? And it all starts right here. So if you want to get a deeper idea, I have a video on my second channel, DHN Crypto Docs, called Africa Mobile Money. In that video, though, there's a section where we break down how it's not just the payments that are going to pop off in Africa. It's not just IoT. It's going to be blockchain-based identity applications, programs, things like that, because there's a big problem with registering children at birth. If you address that problem, you're bringing in an entire generation of workers, of students, of entrepreneurs, of doctors, whatever they might want to be, that they couldn't because they didn't have that documentation in the first place. That's the value prop right here. So again, keep your eyes on Avalanche when it comes to bringing in institutions to the crypto space. But with that, you know what I want you to do. Have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And always remember that if that money is digital, so is the hustle.